Francesco Delamorte works as a cemetery caretaker in the small Italian town of Buffalora. He lives in an old house on the cemetery grounds, constantly surrounded by death, and his only companion is his mentally disabled assistant, Nagi. Rumors circulate among the town's young hooligans that Delamorte is impotent. His main hobbies are poring over old telephone directories, crossing out the names of the dead, and attempting to assemble a complex jigsaw puzzle shaped like a human skull. Nagi can only pronounce one word: GNA. The Latin inscription Resurrency is carved above the gates of the Buffalora Cemetery, which translates as "for those who will rise again." This proves true. Some people return from their graves as aggressive zombies within 7 nights of their death. Delamorte destroys these creatures, which he calls returners, before they can cause any harm to the town. The mayor of Buffalora is completely immersed in his re-election campaign and ignores Delamorte's pleas to investigate. An outcast and nearly illiterate, he is unwilling to risk his job. Delamorte confides in his only friend, municipal clerk Franco, but refuses to formally assist, explaining that it's easier to just shoot them. At a funeral, Delamorte falls in love with the young widow of a wealthy older man. She is captivated by him when he tells her about a crypt she admires. However, as their relationship is ending, an undead creature rises at her late husband's grave and bites her. At first she appears to have died, but the medical examiner claims it was a heart attack. Fearing the worst, Delamorte remains nearby and shoots her when she rises again. Nagi falls in love with the mayor's teenage daughter, Valentina, but she tragically dies in a motorcycle accident. Unable to accept his loss, Nagi digs up her reanimated head and begins an innocent affair. However, when the mayor learns of this, Valentina rips out his throat with her teeth, and Delamorte is forced to shoot her. The young widow also returns to life, leading Delamorte to believe she wasn't fully zombie-like. When he first shot her, he was the one who killed her. Sinking into depression, he receives a visit from the malevolent figure of death, who orders him to stop killing the dead and advises him to shoot the living instead. Later, Delamorte meets 2 more women identical in appearance to his deceased lover. The first works as an assistant to the new mayor. She admits to being afraid of sexual assault, so Delamorte demands that the local doctor remove his penis. The doctor refuses but administers an injection for temporary impotence. The woman, having suffered abuse from her employer and fallen in love with him, loses her phobia and plans to marry her rapist, rejecting Delamorte. Lost in reality, Delamorte goes into town at night and kills the hooligans who have tormented him for years. He meets a third woman whom he loves and they sleep together. Later, learning that she is a prostitute, Delamorte kills her and 2 other women by setting fire to the house. Franco is accused of these murders after the deaths of his wife and child and attempts suicide. Delamorte visits him in the hospital, where, sitting by his bed, he casually kills a nun, a nurse, and a doctor. Franco claims he doesn't recognize Delamorte. Shocked, he shouts a confession, but is ignored. At the end, Nagi and Delamorte get into a car and leave Buffalora. Nagi's head is injured by sudden braking. They reach the edge of the road, where Nagi falls into the abyss, stumbling convulsively. Delamorte realizes the rest of the world doesn't exist. Fearing for his assistant, he loads his pistol with 2 dum-dum bullets, but is unable to shoot his friend. Nagi wakes up, drops the gun, and speaks clearly for the first time, asking to be taken home. Delamorte answers GNA.